and welcome back to Humanity Never Dies. In the last episode, we performed a rescue mission to recover Van der Voort, our specialist and head of one of the resistance factions in the US, doing so right under the nose of the Advent Guards. Once back home, Dr. Tegan told us about his findings on the Black Site specimen, and we went ahead and assaulted a chosen stronghold. Despite a poor start, we fought our way through the rooms without too much difficulty, and are on our way to challenge the Warlock and be rid of him for good. Having descended down to the Ascension Chamber. Amazing use of language there. In any case, that's exactly what we did. It's not incorrect. We're going to start with grappling McEwen up onto that platform, which is a very convenient platform. It gives us a nice elevation angle on any enemies, especially with a sniper. That's always very nice. And we actually spot some more Advent forces, a Codex and an Andromedon, so we're going to take it out as an Andrometron. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. We're going to fire at the Codex with now luckily getting the kill off in one without having to use hail of bullets there. That was sort of risky, but it seems to have paid off, so that's always good. Kilby's going to go and do a run and gun. Gonna move on nicely up into that cover. Flanking shot gets a nice critical 12 damage on top of then the 4 shred, so that's always nice, and then it should be more or less easy for the rest of the team to take it out. Just need to go with positioning really with Ingen. You can use Soul Fire, which will guarantee 4 to 6 damage, but we need to high roll to get it down to death with 6. Just gonna hope. Luckily it is just 4 damage rather than the high roll. It was kind of, yeah, probably wasn't the best thing to do, but it is what it is. Vermo's then going to grapple on the other side, gives himself a nice height advantage, although no actual targets available there. However, Vermo will then move around to the side, fire off and kill it with AP round 6 damage, which is exactly what we need to do. This leaves the Andrometron to be in robot mode. It can get shot by Far Logo, doing 9 damage, leaving only McEwen then, who's going to go into Long Watch, which instantly gets triggered, doing 10 damage, and I think killing it straight away. So that's all good. Get a move up then and pick up the loot that's just happened to fall down. Quite a lot of loot actually. Very nice. And then we're just going to go into Overwatch with the majority of our troops as we move up. So the way in which this chamber works is that at the end of it is the Chosen. It's like their... Okay, it has a specific name, but it's like their regeneration sarcophagus or something. But it will only get triggered when we're in visual range. So right now I'm moving all of my troops so that I can stay all together as much as possible, so that when the sarcophagus is triggered and the Chosen appears, everyone's got an action ready. So that's all happened, so I can move McEwen up now. That doesn't actually trigger the mechanism, but we can move up with Far Logo and that should do it.
If only you knew the truth. The power in my hands. You would fall to your knees before me. Pity. I suppose we should begin then.
The Chosen having said his piece, he will now disappear and reappear in what can only be described as perfect coding. And yeah, he sort of gave himself down. Anyway, strengths, we got Planeswalker, Prelate, All-Seeing and Regeneration, a lot of very strong strengths. The weaknesses, Bewilders is probably the only one we're going to be able to take sort of use of. But yeah, the annoying get shot by McEwen, which means he teleports straight away, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But we begin... teleports in a really frustrating position though. So what we're going to be doing with our lovely Far Logo is moving up. And I believe we're just going to go into a watch from there. Right, so the rest of the team is going to move up. Actually have shots somehow from Kilby. at there with a 19%, which seems awful, so he's just going to go into Overwatch. Engen is able to use Null Lance, which is exactly what he's going to be doing. That will teleport the Warlock somewhere else in the area, but it will guarantee a lovely 9 damage, 8 damage, sadly on the low roll of that. But yeah, it does nice damage. So he teleports again, this time teleporting over in the top corner, which is far enough away from our troops that it's not going to really affect. We're just going to go into Overwatch with most of them as we move up. So the aim of the Chosen encounter is obviously to slay the Chosen, and once that happens we can attack the sarcophagus. Once the sarcophagus is down, we will then be able to, well, that kills the Chosen basically, so the Chosen can't regenerate. He spawns and we can kill him for one final time, which will fully kill him. Ah yes, the Warlock also has the +3 HP. So then going to use Prelate to get his beautiful priests on that charge. We're going to do some overwatching, missing with both Farlogo and Kilby. However, thankfully for Vemo's hair trigger, manages to get 3 damage as well as the hair trigger from Lau as well. So 3 damage apiece. Not much happening else. We've got a teleport ally happening, which is an interesting ability to use, as well as then a Mind Scorch on Farlogo. So that's going to fire off. Dazes her for 4 turns. And then we can begin our onslaught. So we've got some lightning hands happening, going to be taking out the priest as soon as possible, doing 4 damage to him. Then we've got some shredding happening with a Deadeye. Hopefully that'll be enough to hit. Definitely doing so. So shredding that, doing an amount of damage. Planeswalker making him fly off. He's gone to the right hand side. I'm trying to look how I can deal with the priest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, which will put me on a flanking, but will also put him on the flank. So 100% chance to hit with that. Doing critical 14 damage, which puts him on about 2 health in total. We still have a domination somehow with our own Psycho, which we are going to use, but a 69% chance of happening on the priest. And because we are amazing, it actually happens. So it looks like everyone's okay. Managed to mind control one of the priests, which is actually a really strong unit to mind control, just because of the amount of, the stasis is available in there, and amongst other things. Also, it removes one of the enemies completely, and it gives it to us. Domination being a permanent mind control as well is always fun. Vemo's then going to go for the Chosen, hitting him, well, missing him, but hitting him for 3 damage. Guaranteed damage, so it's better than no damage at all. And then he's going to teleport off around the side, which puts him in a nice position for Lau to hit with Hail of Bullets, which will guarantee the hit, and the teleport, doing an additional 10 damage. He's then going to teleport away and go off, this time behind our lines, and that's the end of our turn. So we've got a priest who's going to go around the side. We completely forgot about Farlogo, because she's still dazed. Luckily it doesn't really matter if she's dazed in this case, other than the fact that she's easy to hit and misses her turn. We then get a Spectral Army from the Warlock. He's going to summon up some individuals, which we're going to have to slay because he's basically shielded whilst they're active. It's not going to be too much of an issue. This is one of the reasons why the Warlock, I believe, is one of the stronger Chosen, just because he's got so many array of abilities that make him immune and also just make him stupidly powerful. So now we have to think about what we're going to do, and we definitely need to get Farlogo first, as well as kill that priest so that we can remove the stasis on Kilby. Sadly for us, we need to do a reload with Vemo, so he's just going to have to Justice, or we could equivalently just go and Slash, which is exactly what he's going to be doing. 84% chance it succeeds straight away with a dodge. Get an advanced scope out of it. Oh, I don't think that actually frees Kilby, which is annoying. But yeah, so Elite Priest, as you can see, he's got Stasis, which is really strong, but he's also got Uplift, which, or Holy Warrior it might be called. Either way, that's it effectively makes sure that our what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, it just makes our troops stronger, but it's not something we particularly want to use. But yeah, So we're just going to go around and shoot at / kill all of these. 66% chance to hit. It's not super good, but it's good enough apparently. With 10 damage done there, and then we've got a potential soulfire or flanking shot, which is available too. And Gun's going to go around the side there to get the flanking shot. With 96% chance to hit him. Hitting him outright with the plasma rifle, which frees up the Chosen. That also ends our turn, however. So Kilby's back. Chosen's ran off. He's going to try and do a Mind Scorch. Oh, he is successfully going to do a Mind Scorch, I think, on Engen, who is now dazed. Farlogo no longer dazed. She's going to more or less stay where she is, because I don't think she can see the Chosen from there. Same really for Kilby. All of them are kind of in rough positions at the moment. It doesn't help that the Chosen rushes and runs around a lot. But luckily we can get McEwen to go around the side. She can recuperate Engen. A quick revive. And she will also hopefully get a pistol shot, which I think is what I'm going to go for. Or she's going to grapple up, which gets a free reload. Oh, she gets a lot of stuff happening at the moment. No, she's just going to fire the pistol, which actually misses. Wonderful.
Was that meant for me?
So, tough position. We don't seem to be like that hurt. I don't think we've taken any damage at all. We've just been stasis and dazed so far, which is nice, to be honest. Vemo's going to grapple up. Does have a shot of 59%. She is going to actually make contact out with the 3 guaranteed damage, of course he is. So the Chosen's going to bugger off. Goes up into the heights up there, which actually puts him into range of our priest, who moves up. 35% chance, you might as well go for it. There's no downfall for doing that. Doesn't hit. You never know. Going to reload with Lao. We might also go into Overwatch, or we're going to move up. Yeah, it looks like we are going to move up. And then we've got Farlogo with a 60% chance to hit, which does actually hit and executes the Chosen. So that's great. He's gone. Now we've got a timer and a limiter where we're going to need to destroy the sarcophagus because the Chosen isn't actually dead.
The device appears to be some sort of psionic capacitor, transferring tremendous amounts of psionic.
So now that we have access again, we can shoot at it with Kilby. Gives us a nice extra turn bonus on that, doing 9 damage to it. Once the sarcophagus is destroyed, it's good news for us, I guess. And then we're going to move Enkin around the side. However, reinforcements do appear. We've got a Advent Priest who's going to rush up into the alcoves. And then on the other side, looks like a Berserker as well. So that's actually super dangerous for us. He's going to rush up, go right next to Lao. Do have a shot at the priest, or a Deadeye at the priest also, but we're going to go for just the Deadeye at the sarcophagus. Once we destroy the sarcophagus, there are no more reinforcements and the Chosen becomes active again. When we kill the Chosen, the mission ends, so it's good to just attack that. However, we don't also want to be overwhelmed by the amounts of enemies around, so it's kind of just like anything in Xcom, it's puzzle solving to an extent. Gonna get nice 10 damage done from Kilby into the Berserker. We're going to try and take out the Berserker as soon as we can, which will be nice. 60% from Engen, who is still disorientated at the moment, but does still manage to connect the shot for 9 damage. And then we've got Vemo, who's got there for 100%. Does manage to kill it down, leaving only the priest. He's going to go and attempt a Justice, however it does not hit, but it does uncover a bit of terrain there. What we're going to do then is we're actually going to use Stasis on the priest, because screw you priest, I've got access to your powers now. So just to really annoy the priest there. Probably could have done that and used Vemo's attack differently, but it does free up Lao, who can then fire at the sarcophagus for 8 damage, as well as Farlogo, in fact, who does an extra 11 damage. So doing quite a bit of damage for now, and they've got more reinforcements coming in. the shape of a Archon, which is kind of scary to be honest. And then once the Archon goes, there's actually another reinforcement from the same area in the form of a second Archon. So 2 Archons and a priest currently against us, with the Chosen at 75% rapid healing. Hopefully we can figure that out and eliminate the sarcophagus. We're going to grapple up with McEwen. Once up, she hopefully will be able to get a shot at the sarcophagus. Doesn't quite, but she does have a lightning hands. It's not really the best shot. She got a 72% chance against the priest, but she kind of wants to keep having shots at the sarcophagus and also get some kind of defense. So she's just going to lightning hand, just get a shot against the Archon, which she's going to take, doing a sad 4 damage, but better than no damage, for sure. There's also a free action, so she still gets to do something else with a pistol, although currently not doing anything. Potential Soulfire or Insanity happening for 4 to 6 damage. I'm not sure whether or not that's decent. I mean, I guess the potential bonus that happens would be good. So dealing a low roll of 4 damage again, but potential... oh, no additional effects. Great. That's always wonderful to know. Going to fire off at the sarcophagus. We kind of need to take it down. We don't want to have to go through the Chosen again. So we're going to try and do it as best as possible with advanced teamwork from McEwen then to get Lau to fire off again at the sarcophagus. It's exactly what she's going to do. I think that leaves it on like 1 HP. So Fowler is going to have to deal the final blow at it. Although Kilby does also have action, as does Vemo, who's going to fire off twice at the Archon, shooting it once, doing enough damage to kill it with the second shot if he didn't have to reload, which he does, which is very frustrating. So instead he's just going to back away and get himself into cover. The priest, in fact, is going to be able to put the nail into the coffin, slamming down at the sarcophagus. So that's all good. Farlogo gets to use her action. The Archon manages to dodge that, but luckily that's enough damage to deal with it. And Kilby can go around the side then to try and deal enough damage to take him out. 66% chance. Does manage to get, as well as a critical strike from the Talon rounds for 15 damage. Not bad at all, puts him into frenzy. As you can see, Chosen is back. 75% of his health because we managed to interrupt the healing process, but not great. And then the priest is on the enemy team is going to use stasis. Oh no, you countered my stasis with your own stasis, how could you? The Archon's then going to go for Lau with a strike of his blade, which does actually hit Lau for what looks like 5 damage, 7 in total. McEwen is going to then fire off her sniper rifle at the Archon, doing enough damage to kill it, leaving only the priest and the Chosen, shooting at the priest, who dodges for 3 damage, which isn't that much of a dodge really. McEwen actually reaching the Colonel rank now, so that's good. Kilby going to be able to use his grapple to get up there and put himself close enough to the Chosen. He could go for a run and gun, which is exactly what he's going to do. Put himself in a place where he's got flanking shots on the Chosen to do the maximum amount of damage. I believe I've given him rending as well, which will remove his armor. Managing to do so for 11 plus 3 rend. So armor down, Planewalkers happening, and he buggers off to the bottom corner then. Kilby actually managed to get a hair trigger strike on that, so he still gets a shot, or gets an action I should say. Got a null lance potential, which is a very strong ability to have as it strikes upwards. It's going to strike again. Engen doing 8 damage again with his null lance, which forces the Chosen to teleport, hopefully closer to our crew, very close to our crew. Vemo is in a very good place to strike at him. He's going to go and reload first. 89% chance, striking it down. Shooting, dealing an amount of damage. It's done bonus damage to him because he's bewildered. Bewildering, obviously, if you take damage from 3 sources, you take additional damage. And then the priest is going to go around the side and fire 25% chance at the other priest. Missing. I wasn't expecting anything great from that priest, I'm not going to lie. So I'm looking to where the Chosen is at the moment. It looks like he's over there, so it leaves only for Lao to go around the side. Doesn't actually have shots on him. At this point I'm just like, what? Why is he... what? Who knows? Who knows what happened there? It looks like some kind of visible glitch or something that I missed, but really sucks because the Chosen should have basically have died at that point. A Overwatch miss from Kilby at the priest, who is going to fire off at the other priest, but also misses. And then the Chosen is going to take his action, get the Spectral Army out, which is very frustrating. I should basically have killed him that turn, but for whatever reason Lao apparently can't see across that corner. So we're just going to go into Overwatch instead, as the Spectral Army appears. Hopefully we'll be able to deal with him. Oh, Lao's going to put a shot into the first one, so, you know, worth going into Overwatch, I guess. It wasn't necessary, but apparently it was, so what can you do? So the Warlock very close to death. Kilby's going to go around. He does have the ability to slashy slash, which is exactly what he's going to do. That is the official term for it. Slashing it down, dealing 10 damage. Zoom to Engun's crotch, because who doesn't want to be there? And a 62% chance to hit the other one, only dealing 3 damage with that miss, but it puts him up to a point where Vemo would be able to kill him, killing him outright, leaving only the Chosen left, and Lao is probably going to get her revenge unless Vemo can get it first. Oh, I think Lao wants it. For whatever reason, that apparently doesn't count. So she's going to go to a point where it does, and then she's going to get a 70% chance to strike out and finish the Chosen off for good.
It was odd, some kind of alien tech that allowed them to regenerate quickly. Too quickly. I'll tell you what, I'm happy we got rid of that guy, and killing him proves to us, to all of us, that the Chosen can be defeated. I look forward to getting my blade into the other two.
And we return to the Avengers, having successfully defeated one of the 3 Chosen. We are finally on our steps towards the end of this series and the end of the campaign. We have received one single promotion, but what an important one it is, with McEwen being our first ever Colonel and getting the cereal ability, which has nothing to do with the fact that she likes Kellogg's, although I hear that she might do. That's not the case. And we also get the Warlock's Disruptor Rifle, which is a very powerful piece of equipment, which we need to unlock, but we will be using in the future.
Even now, we feel its absence. A voice, silenced forever. You are born of our power. Does not our very life force flow within your veins? We feel such loss. Yet within you we sense something else. Emptiness and satisfaction. There can be only one explanation. You have succumbed to the cravings of your humanity. You squander our gift to you. What was given can be taken away. This is what awaits us all, should you fail. Return their commander to us while time yet remains. Leave us.
The elders don't seem too pleased about us having killed off one of their chosen. However, it is what it is, and they're going to have to deal with it. So we can finally go off and go to the black market or anything, but however, we do have some guerrilla ops that we actually need to deal with, so we're going to have to pick one of the others. We're going to pick the one in New Mexico just because it doesn't give us a scientist and it doesn't give us an engineer, because we don't need either of them, really. We're going to go and get ourselves some intel. We're going to be taking our B team for this one because our A team is currently resting. We're going to be taking the likes of Chen, Motorel, Fang, Ahmed, Floyd and Vandervoort, who we recently rescued, to go and deal with some Lost and a transmitter.
Operations across this entire region will be in disarray.
So of course, as this is a Lost mission, we end up in the bottom right hand corner of the map, apparently. No, we end up in the deserted cities of the old world. We're going to try and find ourselves a way to destroy the network separation thing. So we have 6 turns, plus then we've got the additional. This is actually similar to one of the first missions we ever did in this series. It's very interesting, and Ahmed's going to go up on top of that building, get ourselves a nice little height. Not even a little height, it's quite a big height in fact. She's got to do it in such a way that she cannot break down the windows. That would be nice. Get ourselves up where she can see enemies, get ourselves a nice vision. We are concealed, so it should be good. We do see 2 sectoids and a elite Spectre as well. And then we're going to get Floyd to go up there also. Really, what should be nice, or what would be nice I should say, would be if the Reapers could get grappling hooks, because that would be insane, the amount of vision you would get on that. But yeah, we've got the beautiful duo that is Ahmed and Floyd. We're crazy in the previous episode, or the episode before that I should say. But yeah, going to carry on. Vandervoort, who we recently rescued, is also on this mission. And we're going to get Fang to come up and protect Ahmed to the best of her ability. Which will also be nice, because she can then go in and see if we can defeat those enemies pretty easily. Going next to a window, going to get ourselves even more vision. Got to hunker down from the deep cover ability. And the Spectre is going to go over there. It's quite amusing that in that mode, the Spectre has, like, you can see him move even though he is technically in, like, fuzzy mode. I was about to say furry mode, but that's not the word I'm looking for at all. The Lost then have their go. No real movement that we can see. We've still got 5 turns until the network separation. But not much else going on. Motorel is actually using, I don't know if you've used this yet, but he's using the bowcaster. It's a very strong weapon, doing 13 damage in 1 strike. Is very strong. Also causing burning, because I put the dragon rounds, or either dragon rounds or infernal rounds on them. We have made ourselves discovered, but I feel like it's very necessary for us to do so, just because there are Lost on the battlefield, and we don't want to end up like we had in a previous mission where we let the Lost and the enemy attack each other and ended up with just terrible luck in that aspect. So we're going to try and kill as many of them as possible. Ahmed, from her heightened position, definitely going to be able to do that with maximum hits, as well as then getting free reload, so she can just continue doing that, which is why you always want your snipers from a high position, as well as doing immense amounts of damage, just clearing out the Lost completely in 1 round. Then she's going to fire off her sniper rifle at that to make the network separation last a turn longer, which will be really nice. We're going to get Floyd to go around the side. He's going to try and figure out if he can find any more enemies. Doesn't seem to be the case, so he's just going to go towards those boxes there. We do actually note some more. Got some more Lost, it looks like. So nothing too interesting. We are now revealed, other than Floyd of course, so we're going to have to be careful when we move on. I'm going to move Chen up on his own for now, and then we're going to put Vandervoort off to the side. He's going to go into Overwatch. Then Fang does have a shot at that network separator, which we are going to take, damaging it and putting us to 7 turns until the end of the mission. which is nice. The sectoids and the Spectre moving up, they do spot someone, so they're going to take their turn now. Luckily it's in the midst of their turn, so they don't actually get a turn other than to move around. The sectoids then rushing around, and I think one of them, yeah, goes up to the balcony, so he gets a Overwatch shot, which sadly misses, but it does tear down his cover. So, annoying, but there's some convenience in that also. It's not the end of the world. Gonna have to deal with them as well. Moving on, we actually do spy more enemies. There's a gatekeeper out there, which is actually very scary. Chen's gonna have to be the one to deal with them, because he's the only one with Rend, which is kind of frustrating. And then there's also the Lost Emperor, of course, who I think then do get activated. So they're going to go around, not moving too far, and then it's our turn. One thing with the Boltcaster is that it only has a single shot, so it is semi-frustrating, but it has very long range and does a lot of damage, so I think it's worth having at least one on the squad, especially for the B team. I don't think it's much of an A team weapon, unless certain individuals, like maybe if I put it with Engen, it'd be a really good idea. But in this case, that didn't happen, and I don't think it's too much of a loss to do so. Ahmed's going to be using her sniper rifle to take down the Lost. 8 damage there. The more Lost that she can kill, the better for everyone, I think, just because it gives her a tiny bit of XP, but also it ensures that we don't have to be distracted by any of the additional enemies around. 100% chance to hit with her sniper rifle on the sectoids, thanks to Vanderbilt's miss, which means, oh my god, the poor guy. I say the poor guy, it's a sectoid. But yeah, so Floyd's not really in the best of positions. Well, he is in a great position in this case that you can see where the enemies are, but there's a better position, and that's up here. Gets a really nice view on all of the enemies around. It also enables us to see if there are any other Advent troops where they don't see, which we do see actually. Saw a Spectre just below us. But then there's a Claymore and Shrapnel as well, so we're going to throw that Claymore. Sadly don't get to shoot it with anyone. Chen's going to go around the side. No enemies around, but there is a Blaster Bomb, which means that he will be able to fire it off. And that should deal with the Gatekeeper and most of the Codex health. A big blast, shredding all of the armor, and then just beautiful. So a Codex actually did die from that, and then one of them is on 1 HP left. There's a Lost Swarm that does appear from it. The Gatekeeper losing over half his health as well as shredding all of his armor, so there's a lot of cool stuff happening. And then the Lost apparently spawned inside there. Yeah, so I feel like that was a very good use of the Shrapnel Blaster Bomb combo. Vandervoort getting 100% chances to hits with the Dasher over there, killing him with 10 damage. And then 97% on this other Dasher. Killing him nicely too, so doing pretty good. He's going to have to move up and around, going to see if he's got any other shots on any Advent, but he's going to put himself behind some nice cover. 100% chance on that Dasher, and managing to kill it as well. So Chen is basically safe at this point. We're going to have a reload with Vandervoort. And that will be that. Fang going to go around the side. See if she can see any enemies, which she can. A 92% chance on that sectoid, striking him down from above. So all good from there. However, we do have a vanishing Spectre. Spectre, quite a frustrating enemy, really, just because of that invisibility. Don't actually see where he goes elsewhere. Gatekeeper taking it down, and he's going to fire off a gateway strike at all of those Lost. Sadly for us, it also hits Floyd, just because it's an AoE strike, which is very frustrating for us, because basically Floyd wasn't spotted, still isn't spotted. A lot of those, there's a lot of reanimation from all the dead bodies of the Lost as well. And then for whatever reason the Codex decides to do that over there, even though Lost don't have any weapons. But hey, I guess we are not technically spotted by Advent at this point. Or at least those Advent forces at this point. You can see the Lost there spotting over there. can also see that there's a Purifier and a Advent Trooper next to the Spectre that's below Floyd. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of movement going on. There's a lot of bogeys, as would be said. Motorel not really in the best position, but 100% chance to hit by Vandervoort. He's going to go for it, killing that Lost nicely. He's going to be able to go up into a position elsewhere. He'll go over there. He's got a shot on this one, the network separation device, which extends it up to 6 turns. Overall, things are going pretty well. We've lost damage on Floyd, which is frustrating, very frustrating in fact, just because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, basically. Fang's going to go and run and gun, go around and join her comrades, try and see if we can spot any enemies, which we do with a 47% chance to hit the Gatekeeper. Doesn't feel worth it, but she could grapple up, which is exactly what I think she's going to be doing. Or not. What's she going to do? You're just going to go for the 47? She is, which actually does manage to kill the Gatekeeper, which explodes, kills the Codex, kills all of these reanimated dudes. There's like 5 of them. It's insane. So, a beautiful 47%, so sometimes worth taking. Definitely worth taking. A beautiful shot from Fang there. Motorel moving up, doesn't have any shots but goes into Overwatch. Or he's going to dash. Yes, no, he's going to go for a dash, which is not really the most terrible of things. A very long range shot from Ahmed to fire off and kill that Lost over there. She's then going to use her free reload again. And going to see where she can grapple. She's going to grapple up at 2 there. That's not a bad position at all, as it will put her in range of all the enemies. Does actually spot the Spectre that was hiding. Has a shot at the Purifier. Oh, actually these guys get spotted as well, so maybe not a shot at the Purifier, it's just that these guys get spotted, so they move around.
Always find you.
She's got Cone of Thing as well. She probably should be using the Cone. Killzone, that's the one. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so Killzone used. Very, very good use of Killzone there. Got a Sting potential to take out the Spectre or the Elite Trooper. Very good shot there. Sting in, killing. So good use of Sting as well. Guarantees that we stay in concealment, or in shadow, I should say. So that's all good as well. And then Chen's going to go and fire off to make sure that the network separation continues. All going into Overwatch? Yes, it was into Overwatch. I did feel like it was unnecessary because we still got 6 turns. So now we get the negative of this episode, where the Spectre flies massively far and shadow binds our dearest Ahmed, which means that the entire cone of Killzone is completely negated. So that's fun. Gotta love those. Very frustrating is what that is. Yeah, really sucks, because that's a lot of shots that we potentially could have had that would have been really, really useful. So I mean, the AI played that perfectly, but it's also very frustrating from my point of view, because, or even from any player's point of view, like, what the hell was that? Like, Spectres can just fly in diagonals just with nothing. It's crazy. Purifier being used for exactly what the Purifier is good for, which is making all of the Lost burn to death with their fire vulnerability. So during the Lost ability they lose 4 damage from fire. Purifier getting quite a bit of kills from that. And then we find another Lost Brute, who just thumps his head against a wall apparently. And we go an Overwatch strike with Chen, misses but deals 3 damage. So the Lost then come towards us. They're not really in a position where they can really threaten us, but it's starting to close it close. I'm gonna stick with that. I said it several times, so it must be exactly what I wanted to say. And that Lost continues to burn as well. And then it's our turn. Overall, things are going pretty well. The only frustration is that Ahmed was taken out by a Spectre, and there's not much else that Ahmed can do. None of her colleagues are anywhere close to her, so it's just a bunch of frustration. Really, moving Fang was probably not the best move then when I did that. But you do what you can do. Motorel then going to use his shot against that Lost. kind of overkill, 12 damage on someone with 3 health, but there's not much else that you can shoot at really. It's kind of the negative. Taking this weapon in a Lost mission is probably not necessary and kind of a waste, but you do what you do, and I did what I did. Shooting down that Lost with Ahmed from above, then gets a 100% chance to fire at Shadow Ahmed. Oh, she looks angry. Critically hitting her for 13 should give us more than enough for us to take it out with Floyd. Floyd's going to put a shot into that Lost, dealing 5 damage. Don't think... yeah, I think because we killed it, that guarantees that we stay in Shadow. So then going to go around the side. He needs to take out the Shadow Ahmed, because Shadow Ahmed is awful, and 97% chance to do it, so it should be good. Very good. Another guaranteed stay in Shadow as well, so that's all good for now. Then with the rest of the crew we're going to have to move up to a position where we can not only play the objective but also take out the enemies when we can. It's going to move very briefly because there's not really that much of a chance, that's not what I'm looking for, there's not much cover going around, so we're going to have to figure that out. Throwing off at the emitter over there to increase our turn timer again. We're doing pretty good on turns, to be fair, it's not worried in the slightest. Fang then going to grapple up next to Floyd. Doesn't get any shots off at anyone, but she can move around, which is exactly what she's going to do. Moving down so she can get shots on all of the Advent. A good shot at the Purifier, which is exactly what she's going to go for. Doesn't explode, but does destroy him. 12 with the critical hits from above. Very good shot. And then the Spectre is then going to go around the side. He's going to be able to get a really good shot on Ahmed from where he is. But misses. Beautiful. I think that's deserved. I think after the stupid freak flying incident, I think that's deserved. Then this Spectre's going to go around and fire off at Fang. Actually untouchable because she just killed someone, of course. So yeah, compared to the really strong ability that happened earlier with the Spectre, how this time doesn't seem to be as good for the AI. So, Chen get himself rank of captain as the Lost Swarm comes around the corner, and the rest of the Lost continue to burn as they run around as well. The Brute's going to go around the corner also. That's actually quite harsh, because we're going to have to deal with him, although we do have Motorel around the side. The Spectre then just flailing around as the floor below him just blows up. Who knows? Motorel going to go there, going to put a shot into the Brute if he can. 100% chance to do so. Striking him down. 12 damage with burning, so we don't even need to take out the Brute, who's just going to die next turn. Fang. That's not even Fang. Ahmed, sorry. Getting a good shot at the Dasher over there. She gets to reload at this point. Not a free reload anymore. She has used, she's shot so many people, it's not really that surprising. So she's only got headshots with her pistol, which is fine. Just going to take out the Brute because it's a free action. And then it's going to take out this to increase our turn timer again. Floyd needs to reload. Luckily he's got a free reload thanks to his equipment. Ability to shoot at the Lost over there, 100% chance to do so, killing him, which will keep him in Shadow. Floyd doing pretty good, to be fair. And then he's going to... he's got a choice of 2 Spectres. He's going to shoot the one in the building. It is going to probably reveal him, but he needs to do damage to it. Yeah, it does reveal him. He needs to do damage because I can't just leave the Spectres untouched, basically. Chen's going to go on a shooting spree, taking down as many of the Lost as possible. Doing quite a bit. Oh, actually missing that one, so I think doing quite a bit of damage, but not really. Could have done a lot more. And then Vandervoort is going to do what Chen couldn't, or at least attempt to do what Chen couldn't. Moving up, going to try and take out this Dasher. 100% chance to do it, so I think he's got this, guys. He's then going to reload in his second action. Fang going to go, she could reload, but she could also slash. There's quite a few things that she could do. She's going to go for this Spectre here, who's much more dangerous. Not only is that going to deal damage to him, but also if he tries to move, she's going to get her Blade Storm ability. However, of course, they've got lightning reflexes, I believe, so it vanishes anyway, so never mind. And the frustration there is that this Spectre is going to go up there and shadow bind Floyd. So, yay for me. Everything's going wrong in that point. So Spectre's just doing very irritable work. They haven't actually done any damage, so to say. They've just been frustrating. So we're going to have to deal with that at some point if we can. Spectre then going to run away like a coward he is. Luckily then it's the Lost's go. I'm going to see how the Lost react to all of this. There's not that many of them left, so they can still dash around. Looks like they're getting close to Chen. Oh, they might be able to do some damage against him. Wow, that dasher is going real far. Looks like no damage done from the Lost. Motorel going to reload. He's got shots on quite a few individuals. 53% on that, 100% on the dasher. It's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. Doing 14 damage, just such an overkill. But he does get a reload now, because it's a free action to shoot against those, so that's all good. Lightning hands first on the evil Floyd, doing 4 damage, which should guarantee the kill then with the sniper rifle. Which is indeed killing him down with critical hit. So with that, the real Floyd can get back up. We actually get a death from above shot, which allows her to grapple across. That's exactly what she's going to do, which also means, because grappling is a free action also, that she can get a shot at some of the Lost with her pistol. Going to take out the Lost Dasher. This is the 3 to 5. So could potentially kill the Dasher, which is exactly what she's going to go for, and she does actually get the high roll. And then she can shoot with her pistol at the Spectre. Floyd is then going to do the same, doing a critical 9 damage thanks to Blood Trail. And then Chen is going to go around and try and take out as many of them as possible. Taking down 2 so far. Going to have to reload. And then he's got another 6 shots in the barrel. Taking out a 3rd. An 82% chance to take out the 4th. Good counting, holy crap. And then he's going to move up with his final move. Vandervoort going to go around the side. He could go up, which is exactly what he's going to do. Puts him up elevated, so that's good also. No additional actions from there. We've got a reload from Fang, who's just going to go into Overwatch apparently. And we've got a Frostbomb, which is exactly what was going to be used by Vandervoort. First time we see this ability, Frostbomb just freezes the enemy. Also, what's interesting about the Frostbomb is it doesn't actually cause an explosion, so to say, so it doesn't cause any loss to appear. It's always really nice. With that, so obviously the Spectre has had his turn, so what's going to happen is that Floyd's going to reload and then do his shot on the enemy in revenge, doing 5 damage. And then we can move up with Chen, who is just going to go straight up to the end goal. He's got 4 turns left to do so. Vandervoort then going to come around the side. He's going to I think he's going to go get the kill just because it gives him extra experience. Does so. 10 damage done. There is some loot there as well. Fang able to grapple, which she's not really going to do that at the moment. Just going to go into Overwatch from where she is. Ahmed's going to go pick up that loot, I believe. There's no enemies left. We've killed all the Advent forces as much as I can figure out. There's probably no loss left either. Just going to fire our pistol because we can. Doesn't cost us any ammunition, so might as well. Looks like there's still a Spectre actually. I completely forgot about him. He did vanish. Got revealed there. He's going to go and try and take out Fang, but he does have lightning reflexes. She's got then Blade Storm, which he misses. So there's a lot of stuff going on. What is he going to do? Is he going to Shadow Bind Fang? Yes, he is. So that's 3 Shadow Binds in one game. Jesus. So that's fun. Unreal is what that is, actually. Oh god, I hate Spectres so much. Almost as much as priests, I can tell you that. So we're going to have to take him out. Luckily we've got Ahmed on the job. 100% chance. Kills it. That destroys Shadowbound. Fang gets Fang back up and allows us to then finish the mission. So all the enemies are dead. We got confirmation from Central. We plant the X4 charges, and that will do it for this mission. Actually a really, really good mission, but Jesus Christ, that was long. So the team returns back to the Avenger after a successful mission. Got a few level ups left and right. Actually left, right and centre apparently. So Chen gets promoted as well as Ahmed and Vandervoort. It's wonderful. Chen getting up to Captain. He's going to go for Volatile Mix, which is just really strong. So why not? Ahmed getting herself up to Major, which I think I go for Steady Hands, which is just standard for someone who doesn't move very far. And we're going to go Field Medic with Vandervoort. So a successful mission, got several bits of loot, and we've got intel as well. So overall everything is good. We've got ourselves a bond between Engen and Vemo from the mission against the Chosen. We've got idle staff in the Scilab because Engen is actually injured, so we can't do anything from that perspective, although he'll go straight into training afterwards. So, get a bit of downtime now. Actually completes our resistance order there. So we can do a covert action, or complete our covert action. We can get more, but our covert action was to get a resistance order. So we get a bit of downtime, finally, after the excessive amounts of fights that we've had over the last few episodes. But it's nice. A free promotion going there. Got several captains that can be there. The rest of them are too tired to actually go on mission. As you can see, the entirety of our top half of our crew is just not looking great. That's what happens when you get 2 missions back to back. So we're going to send Fuentes and Xiaolong, so as some supplies to prevent wounding or captures. So that's all good. Still can't do Scilabs. Well done. Thanks for checking again. We're just going to hang out and chill for a while. What can we do? Well, as you can see, we've got 4 different things. We've got a black market ability. We did just pick up some intel. We've got 201 intel, which is insane. So we're going to go and figure out what we can do with that. We've got a bunch of supplies that we can get. We can rush the Andromedon Autopsy. That doesn't really matter. The PCS Superior Conditioning is very strong, which is something I'm probably going to buy for 35 intel. Yes, please. The superior conditionings and all that, they're the kind of things that you don't actually see me do on screen. The reason for that is because I do it when I'm doing like the character select before a mission. But I do use them. Every single person has one that confirms like to themselves, either when it's will for specialists or rangers, dodge mostly for rangers, movement for rangers, and what are they called? The sharpshooters, aim for sharpshooters pretty much all the time. Extra health, so conditioning for all of our heavies, and our specialist. Hack as well is also one. So I do use them from time to time when I've got the access to them, and that's pretty much what I use them for. Right now we're just going to go around selling. We're going to sell our spider suit because we've got our race suits, which are just significantly better. And sell all the stuff that we don't really need. That being done, that's like 126 total so far. There's not really much else that we need to sell. So yeah, confirm. Well done. Very good. Very, very good. That having been done, we now have enough moolah to spend it. We're going to spend it on something. I still can't get nano kit, although we do have 1 nano kit from somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where that came from. We can build up. There's a lot of enhancements that we can do. Get ourselves the fusion axe, the powered shadow keeper, the alien sight amp, which is exactly what we're going to go for. That's a really strong thing to get for Engen, which is going to ensure that we get a lot of abilities. off and successful psychic powers for when we eventually face off against the Chosen again. So we're going to continue with our attempts to get some supplies. I think we've got 2 days left on it, which will be nice. Successfully remove some traits, negative traits, as well as getting 81 supplies, so grey is all good. So next we've got to figure out what we're going to do. We've got resistance contact, assorted loot, Illyrium crystals. We're going to go for the assorted loot, which will be really nice to upgrade some of our weapons, although we don't, because we're using so much of the legacy weapons, it doesn't really need to happen. Get a dark event is actually complete, and our Icarus armor is about to be completed. The Hunter almost at maximum. We are going to be going for the Hunter soon. There goes the Icarus armor. A beautiful piece of armor. Get an alien facility in New Arctic that gets up. Got a covert op done with a promotion from Fuentes, who is however injured. That allows us to figure out another covert op. Fabricate PCS, we're going to get ourselves a superior PCS. +1 will or +4 aim. That's a lot of supplies, holy crap. I think that's what we're going to go for. 102 supplies is nothing really to faff around at. So I'm going to send Motorola up to get +4 aim. That's very good. With Fournier and an engineer that is, so we can send Maximilian Hager, since he is not currently being used, which is very good. Get ourselves a level up there in Fuentes, who's now major, which unlocks Arcwave, which is very strong. Exchange, which is very strong, and Quick Draw, which is not quite as strong. Exchange very good, but Arcwave I think is my favourite from that. As you can see, there's quite a bit of indecision between what I want to get, because both of them are very good. Arcwave just has a... I mean, you've seen Arcwave happen in the... It's very similar to the Assassin's ability, where she puts her sword and then fires it off, where it hits everyone in sort of a line. We're actually going to get Aftershock as well, which is interesting. But yeah, so that's why Arcwave is really good, because of the line strikes. So we've got a few days before we can actually go and strike the Hunter, which I think is going to be our next target, just because he's the one who's closest to finish. We complete our Schism training, and then we got a choice between Fuse, Stasis, and Inspire. With the one we're going to go for is Fuse, just because that's when it's really fun to do. Get to blow up some dudes, and then we finally complete our next project.
Central, Commander, excellent. My analysis of the fragmented Codex data is almost complete. The information I've uncovered so far outweighs the loss of the Shadow Chamber, as you'll see.
Is that an elder? Haven't seen one in at least a decade.
Yes, and I believe I now understand why. The Elders appear to be afflicted with an aggressive form of tissue degeneration, rapid muscular atrophy, to a degree I had not even thought possible.
So they're dying. Sounds like our job just got a whole lot easier.
As with most things involving this adversary, it's never quite that simple. The Elders have been aggressively searching for a cure to their condition for centuries. Each time they encountered a new species, they procured what genetic information and material they required and moved on to the next world. Until now. I believe they found something in us. Something important enough to cause them to take root.
A cure?
Not that I can determine. Several key files were previously deleted as part of something called the Avatar Directive.
Avatar. We need those files.
Were I to gain access to a fully functioning codex, I might be able to recover them.
Or blow the entire ship to hell this time around.
I didn't say I needed the creature here, Bradford. I am confident I could access the unit remotely, provided your soldiers can get close enough to it in the field without destroying it first.
That we can arrange, Doctor.
And the plot thickens further, so it looks like we need to use a Skulljack on a codex to access some information to figure out what the Elders are up to. That having been done, just going to train up our bonds between Chen and Floyd to get ourselves up to rank 3. That will be all for this episode, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.
Oh, hey Fang. I didn't see you there. Good job on that mission, by the way. Really showed them what it means to be the #1 shot of Xcom. Nah, McEwen has got nothing on you. Trust me, I've seen all of the reports. Say, you wouldn't be free for a coffee later, would you?